Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of The Sexy Tablespoon. So today we are going to be making one of my all-time favorite foods in the world to eat, which is dumplings. That's what gnocchi means in Italian. It means dumpling. And these are potato dumplings, which must be God's perfect food. I know I've said that about a lot of foods, but literally potato-based dumplings, so good. And you can make these gnocchi either with glutinous flour, or you can do it like we're gonna do it and use gluten-free flours. So I get to eat it too.
So
Show some emotion.
Hi.
Your mise en place for this recipe, we have some potatoes boiling away over here. You're probably only gonna need like 3 or 4 medium-sized russet potatoes, but because we had about 2.5 pounds left over, I went ahead and cooked off the whole pot, and we'll have the rest just for snacking or leftovers or whatever. Here I have the Bob's Red Mill gluten-free, wheat-free, and dairy-free all-purpose baking flour. Now, for the gnocchi, you could also get the pre-mixed biscuit mix, or I think it's like biscuits and pancakes, one of those. It's pre-mixed and it'll work just fine. It just already has the leavening ingredients included. So if you used the biscuit mix, you would not use baking soda. And this is aluminum-free baking soda. And you don't want to add any aluminum into your system. 1 to 2 teaspoons of baking soda. Baking powder is also totally appropriate, but I don't have baking powder, so I'm just going to make do. Salt, pepper, pasta sauce of your choice. And then I have some Italian herbs, the dried Italian pizza herbs, I believe, the pizza seasoning that we used for the polenta pizza. And then to add a little bit more depth of flavor to the sauce, I'm probably going to caramelize half of a white onion. For our other sauce option, I pre-made some basil, spinach, parsley pesto with the edamame and the frozen peas as per the pesto pasta recipe. And then here I have some beautiful herbs from my herb garden. Rosemary, parsley, and chives. Garlic chives to be exact. And I finely chopped those. And I am going to mix these in with the gnocchi dough so that it has nice flavor all through. And you're going to need 1, 2, 3, maybe 8 cloves of garlic. Don't forget your garlic. Forget the garlic every single time we have to go through this. Somebody didn't pay attention to the tutorial.
I'm trying to remember, dude. I can't remember. Okay. Got it.
Most of the garlic is going to go in with the onion, and we're just going to brown it off for a few minutes and let it caramelize and become tender so that it can add more flavor to the sauce. The other bit of the garlic is going to go into our gnocchi dough to make it a little bit more flavorful and exciting. So when you do that, it's important to make sure that the garlic is really, really fine so that you're not going to bite into a gnocchi and get like a big chunk of raw garlic, right? That's terrible. So, Levi has chopped the garlic so well. However, we're going to take it one step further, and I'm going to use the side of my blade. So I'm going to be holding the knife against the chopping board like this. And I'm going to take the side of the blade, tip is resting on the board. I'm going to use my fingers to control it, and I'm going to push down and slide towards me. And we're just going to smush that garlic as I slide across the board. And you see, you end up with something which is almost essentially a garlic paste. And that'll go in and wait with my herbs for the potatoes.
Shall I grab the potatoes?
We'll dump the water off first. We're just gonna let these potatoes steam for a little bit and cool off so that we'll be able to handle them without burning the crap out of ourselves. And the pan goes on. Whoa, that's the wrong one. And the pan goes on to cook off our onions and sauce. It is not as hot as I hoped it would be. Oh, I hear a mini sizzle. Now the veggies are cooking off, and if I had it right now, I would probably add some eggplant or zucchini, mushrooms, anything like that. However much vegetable matter you want to add to this, it's totally your call. But to be perfectly honest, I kind of like my gnocchi to be swimming in a smoother, less chunky sauce. That's just my preference. But it's totally your call how you want to make your gnocchi. And I just remembered that I had this pre-opened half-full can of tomato paste in my refrigerator. So you definitely don't have to use this, but I'm going to add it into the, what is this, onions and garlic. And let it pinch out a little bit to get rid of any bitter flavor. You know, it's pretty cool. Between the potatoes and all the tomato paste and the tomato sauce, this is actually going to be like a really iron-rich meal. For the potatoes, the way that we are going to prepare them, you can't just mash them, I'm sorry. You have to run them on a grater, and I prefer to use the small side of the grater. Obviously the same size I use for my turmeric, so there's a good possibility that these are gonna come out a little bit orange. Just be kind to your fingers during this, because those potatoes are hot.
Oh, dude, this is a weird feeling.
And then I'm kind of lazy. I just let the skin fall in there, and I'm totally fine with it. But if you want like a really smooth, consistent gnocchi, don't let the skin go in. Okay. Sauce goes in the pan. Pizza seasoning. Ooh, nice potatoes. Yeah, so they'll be nice and fluffy and really consistent. Another option instead of using a grater would be a potato ricer. That would be ideal for this as well. Okay, so don't touch them. Dang, that sauce is really good. In a separate bowl, you'll take about 1 cup of flour, about 1 teaspoon of baking soda, right on top there. I like to give it a little mix around. And you definitely don't want lumps in your dough. So if you have a strainer or a sifter of some sort, if you're an avid baker, unlike me, I would highly advise using this to sift or strain out your flour. Like so. And I'm going to err on the side of reserving some of the flour. Don't worry, you can always use it for rolling your gnocchi later if you don't use it. But I'm just going to check the consistency of this, because how much flour you'll need will very much depend on how moist your potatoes were, how much they happened to steam off, how old they were, how old your flour is, on and on and on. The variables are virtually endless. So you can see the dough is already starting to come together. And you don't want to handle your dough too much, especially if you're using a wheat flour, which has gluten in it, because handling it once the flour is moist will develop the gluten and make the dough more tough and chewy than doughy and delicious and fluffy. So I'll just push the dough down, help it to come together a little bit more. And I'll just work it enough for it to come together, but not too much that the dough will get overly tough. Okay. That looks lovely.
Ow! 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 Mommy!
So back in the day when we didn't have real counters, what I would have done is taken this dough and I would have taken it back and forth in my hand several times, and then rolled it into a cylinder like that. And then I would have run it down the back of a fork to give it more of a signature gnocchi shape. So what I'm going to try to do this time is roll them out and cut them. So to do that, I will sprinkle a little bit of flour across my board. Not that this dough is particularly sticky. Then I will mold it into a bit of a log shape, and then just start rolling it back and forth. Oop. Wants to fall apart on me a little bit. That's okay. This is normal for a dough that doesn't contain any egg or anything like that. And then I'm just going to use a knife and go through really quickly and cut them into approximately the same size and shape so that they will all cook evenly. So maybe I'll do a little experiment. Maybe I'll see how these guys cook, and then I'll roll some by hand and see how they cook and compare the two. When you're rolling these, I think it's smart to keep one out in front of you so that you can look at it and compare the size of the other ones that you roll. Otherwise, it's really easy to just like get a game of telephone going with yourself where you roll one and then you roll another one that's slightly bigger, and then the next one is slightly bigger, and then the next one is slightly bigger, and then before you know it, you have gnocchi that are all different sizes. And that's not a bad thing, except they just cook at different speeds. So I like to keep one out to use as my example gnocchi. I think these ones are probably a little bit prettier than the cut ones. What do you think? Which do you prefer?
You have so much.
We really don't. I usually make like triple this amount. Do you want me to roll them and then you can run them on the fork?
Yeah, I like that.
You can make an assembly line.
Because I'm good at that, see? Bang. Oh.
Ooh. Got a little cocky. Okay, so the final step in the gnocchi making process is to boil these little suckers. I have my pot, I boiled some water, bring that water to a boil, and then start dunking in the gnocchi. You're just gonna take, I would say 10 maximum at a time. How many is that?
9.
9, all right, so 10, and then dump them into the water. Be careful. The gnocchi will sink to the bottom and kind of dance around with that boiling water.
Yeah, that one's got his funky groove on over there by
Yeah.
himself.
And then when they are done, except that one just... Okay, you'll see that they start to kind of float to the top. I would generally say when they float to the top, they're done, but I know for a fact that those are not done yet. So I would say 2 to 3 minutes in there, in the boiling water, and they will be complete. You just don't want to add in too many, because if you get too many in there at one time, they will lower the temperature of the water so much that they won't cook very well. So a few at a time, fish them out with a slotted spoon when they're done.
How was it?
Oh my god. It's really good. So good.
It's not bad, yeah.
You have good little like mini creation. Okay. I think they are done. The baking soda has had them puff up quite a bit. They look fantastic.
What are you going to put it in?
Super pillowy. I'm just going to dump them right into that sauce. In between batches, you want to make sure that you let your water come back to a boil just in case, you lost any temperature there. Next batch goes in. I'm going to put 12 in this time because I'm a daredevil. Shucks, I can probably do 15. Let's live dangerously.
Why don't we just turn the heat up and put the whole thing inside?
No, because then you just get a bunch of bubbling and it breaks apart the dumplings, and then you just end up with congealed soup.
Dude, that was freaking, dude, that was that was awesome.
I'm really paranoid my hair is gonna catch on fire. Oh, sweet pillowy deliciousness.
Ow! You bit my lip. You're my little baby girl.
Can you throw me in the shower?
Terrible idea.
It's a cozy, oh my god, with the gnocchi. How about this one? Can I go into this one?
I know this probably seems like a shockingly small amount of food, especially for us, but these gnocchi are so dense. Like, they just go in your stomach. I feel like they just expand inside your stomach and take up all the space in a really nice way. And they're not so good the second day. They tend to like toughen up and get hard. It's really just best to eat them the night of. Isn't that burned again? Yeah, there's so much iron in this. There's the potatoes, and then we have the tomato paste and the tomato sauce. And then those were cooked in a cast iron pan. And when you cook acidic foods in a cast iron pan, it releases some of its heme iron. So I don't think anybody's gonna be anemic in this house.
Why would anybody ever create candy when you have this?
Well, to be fair, I think they created candy in like Europe and stuff where they didn't have good tropical fruits.
Oh. I got you. And then it spread like a virus after that.
And in the theme of It's Always Something, it appears that my microphone was not working as it was supposed to. So, as I'm saying, we got the gnocchi on the bottom and the pesto on top, and it's super yummy. We garnished it with some tomatoes and red onion and a little bit of parsley, and it just tastes fantastic. So thank you guys so much for watching. I so appreciate it. If you guys are enjoying these videos, make sure you subscribe down below and then ding the little bell so that you'll actually be notified when I upload videos. Likes are always appreciated, and comment down below what you would like us to make in the future. Until next time, make better choices for yourself. No one else is going to do it for you. And take really, really good care. I will see you all very soon. Bye! Oh! And if you want to have dinner with us, make sure you go over to my What I Eat in a Day video. We will be having dinner over there. I will link it. I think the only member of the household that has more
Holy shit,
dog
is that coming
hair,
off my back?
yeah, that has more dog hair on them is Keter.
Dude, I laid on the bed 1 second. What? You don't like it?
No, I love it.
Do it again.
Why?
Because you don't like it.
No, I loved it.
Hey, I can't do funny stuff in front of the camera now. Because you're just going to put in the bloopers.
That's why people watch this. It's not for cooking. Please contribute to our GoFundMe campaign so that Levi can get some new shirts.
I'm only going to buy the same shirts.
This one has a hole in it.
No, fuck that. There's no hole in this shirt.
There's a hole in it.
No, damn it. There is a hole. I was never a holy man.
Where did this come from? You leaned into the camera and you came back covered in lint.
It's like fucking magnetized.
Okay, so today we are going to be...
Hold on.
Your mise en place for this recipe, we have 5 pounds... Shit.
5 pounds of shit?
No, yeah.
5 pounds of
5
shit?
pounds of shit in that pot just boiling away. It's very aromatic. It's really good considering I forgot to put any salt or pepper in it. So there's that. Let's just hold each other's hands so you don't stick them into anything. But it splashed and it went right in between my boobs. It was like, shoop!
Oh shit, what's in there?
Mostly boobs.
We should close the window.